So, hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships. Today's replay is using the American Tier 6 cruiser, the USS Cleveland. As you can see, if I can move the mouse, there we go, here in all its glory. Now the Cleveland was a mass-produced cruiser during World War II, and there are quite a large number of them built. And it was one of the better ones as well. I think it worked. They served mostly in the Pacific. And have, as you can see here, 4 triple 6-inch turrets. So it's got 12 guns, or 12 main guns, a whole bunch of secondaries as well, which gives it, I think that's about as many guns as the St. Louis in Tier 3. So this ship is the first ship since the St. Louis to get sort of equivalent amount of firepower. And it can fire more of them in one direction since they're turreted, which is quite nice. The downside of them all being in turrets, of course, which unlike the previous one in the Omaha, where only some of them were in turrets, is that you can't shoot in multiple directions as quickly. You know, if I shoot all over here, and then I want to shoot a target over here, I have to wait for the turrets to rotate, whereas previously I didn't have to, because the guns are all in casements, and therefore there were several on each side. That's a downside of turrets. However, the upside is you can point all your guns in one direction, which is quite nice. So this game was one of my better Cleveland games, which I thought was worth showing. And apparently my ship has vanished. There we go. We're getting shot at, so we're retreating from the shots. In a Tier 7 game now, so we've got some Tier 7 battleships and things, and cruisers, carriers, and blah 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 blah. And we have HMS Hood, because Hood got added to the game recently. Launching shots at the destroyer, I believe. Yep, and we missed completely. Cleveland is, and he's just stopped. He's laying smoke. He's going to vanish in a minute. But him being stopped means that we're more likely to hit him. Oh, he's going backwards. There we go, nailed him. The Cleveland does not have a very high shell velocity as cruisers go, which means that your accuracy at anything over about 10 kilometers. You know, he's in smoke now. So we just have a guess as to where he's going, shoot some more shots off. The Cleveland does not do very well at extended ranges. So the maximum range of these guns is about 14, can't see them here, but there's about 14.5 kilometers, maybe 14.4, something like that. But again, unless you're shooting at a battleship, your chances of actually hitting anything at that range are somewhat limited, just because of how long the shells fly through the air and how much time it takes them to get to the target. So you have to put a lot of lead on, which makes it difficult to aim. So what we're doing now is moving down south towards the enemy. Our carrier is doing a good run on the enemy carrier, which can be seen down here. So he might take him out. And I'm not actually being shot at the moment. In fact, I'm not even visible at the moment, which is quite good, because the destroyer is behind the island, and there's a smoke screen between me and the battleships and cruisers and things, so that's quite good. So I'm actually not being shot at, which makes a pleasant change. Now we're firing high explosive at the moment, because 6-inch guns on battleships, armour-piercing ammunition, is just not going to achieve anything. So what you do with cruisers I primarily have 2 jobs. One of them is to kill destroyers, for which high explosive is useful, because destroyers don't have citadels, so armor piercing is a bit pointless. And the other, that cheeky destroyer, look at that, he's going round the island the other direction, so I can't actually get a line on him. And the other thing is harassing battleships. Well, actually they have 3, killing enemy cruisers as well, but battleships are mainly the anti-cruiser ones. And harassing battleships. Now how you harass battleships again is you fire high explosive at them, because what the high explosive does is it does less damage, because you're not going to get a citadel hit. But then with the cruiser ammo, you're probably not going to get a citadel hit on a battleship anyway, just because the armor belt is so thick compared to your guns. So what you do instead is you fire high explosive. Too much lead that time. He's 8 kilometers away though, so this is actually quite a good range to shoot at. And we're probably going to take him out now. Well, not take him out, but you know, get some good hits on him. The high explosive can then set fires and knock out modules and things like that, and you can greatly retard a battleship's sort of combat capabilities. While yeah, we go, first kill First blood. We got the first kill in this game. Yes, yes we are. And you can do damage over time and things like that. Armor piercing on cruisers is mainly good for other cruisers. It's pointless against destroyers and it's pointless against battleships. So be that as it may, what's going on here? Now what we're doing is keeping the ship angled, because being broadside onto a battleship in a cruiser is a very, very bad idea, especially something like the Cleveland, which is basically one big citadel. Torpedoes astern. Oh yeah, there we go. Battleship's going to take one. Yep. The Cleveland is basically one of its weaknesses is it's got a big citadel. So if you broadside onto a battleship, you can, and I have been one hit killed with a battleship main gun salvo, because those big 14, 15, 16 inch shells will just go straight through you, and they will go into your citadel. So you try and angle against battleships where possible to prevent that from happening. So I'm kind of taking point for the battleships here. There's two battleships behind me, as can be seen there. Come on, mouse, behave. Yep, there's one, there's two. It's quite good for anti-air, because we've got some torpedo bombers on the way. So what I'm doing now, I suspect they're probably going to attack the battleships, but I'm turning towards them just in case they attack me, partially to help provide AA support for the battleships, and also just in case they go for me, to make it easier to dodge the torpedoes. No, they didn't go for me, but that battleship took a bit of a hammering. However, I shot down 3 of them, so that was quite good going. So that's one of the other functions of cruisers, especially the higher tier cruisers, is anti-aircraft. So one of the things you can do to make yourself useful is stay near the battleships and protect them from carrier aircraft, which is basically what I kind of helped do there. Entirely by accident, I assure you. I'm not actually a tactical genius at this game. Sometimes it just looks that way. He's not shooting at me, so I can afford to turn sideways onto him. And what I'm doing now is keeping an eye on his turrets, because turrets aren't pointing at me. The moment they start pointing at me, I'm going to have to angle the ship. You notice the battleships are firing armor piercing. And there we go, that's what I mean, we've just set a fire. So he could use his repair kit, and I think he's aiming at me now. So what we do now is we start turning away, because he's closing the range. There we go, but what have we done? We've angled the ship, and he doesn't really hit anything much anyway. So we take 5,000 damage, which is a considerable chunk of health, but we don't get citadels or any criticals. And he's firing again with his rear turrets. Aish! That wasn't good. We weren't angled enough there, I don't think. But yeah, we just keep doing critical damage, knocking out secondary batteries and things like that. I didn't notice at this point. We've set another fire. Were they both our fires? I don't know. But I didn't notice that I actually sailed into the side of the map. Aye, that was close. He missed completely. And then why is he shooting at me? And there's a battleship right there. That was another big hit. But we set him on fire again. And then I got the kill. Somehow. I don't know how that happened. But that is now 2 kills. In a tier 6 cruiser, in a tier 7 game. I'm enjoying this already. However, I have lost over half my health. Just over half my health. So that's not good. Carrier plane is up ahead. His fighters are shooting down the enemy dive bombers, which is nice, but the enemy carriers have vectored more fighter squadrons to intervene. But he's just destroyed the enemy dive bomber squadron. The carrier's doing a good job actually, because those dive bombers were probably aiming for the battleships over there. The battleships are adding their anti-aircraft fire to the mix. I'm adding some of my long-range AA to the mix as well. So the enemy carriers... oh, there we go, we've shot one down. The enemy carriers' planes are getting an absolute hammering. Torpedo bombers, but the fighters are on them again. And that was a very scattered torpedo salvo. Missed completely. And the fighter squadron is on him. Oh, we've just lost a Bayern. Tier 6 battleship. I think it's a battleship. Yep, and we just shot another guy down. So carrier took some losses there. we spotted the destroyer on the left, on the right. Start turning towards him, because he could be launching torpedoes in this direction. Actually, no, we're not turning. We should be turning. I think I'm gambling on him just not noticing that I exist. And we're trying to put the lead on, because these shells are just so slow. Look at that. Yeah, he's shooting at me now. He's slowing down. I think he's going to go into a smoke screen. But he's not going that slowly. He's shooting his piffling little armour-piercing shots at me. Oh, that's a good salvo. A couple of hits there. I can't remember whether I got torpedoed or not. Or attempted torpedoes. Come on, take him out. Are we incapacitated something? Come on, one last salvo before he goes behind the island. There we go. And that was terrible. Okay. Looks like the dive bombers are going for him. They'll probably take him out, I suspect. We took off most of his health though, so that's good. Oh, and now we just spot the cruiser on the other side, and with broadside on, that's not good. Aish, we took a hit there. However, we've now angled. He is Emile Bert. Is that a French one? It's a French one. We've switched to armour piercing now, because he's a cruiser. We missed completely, so we need to aim ahead. He's nicely broadside on. Ish. No, actually, no, he isn't. He's angled. So we angle the other way. That was a good hit. Not very penetrating. Not very good. This is the only issue with armor piercing is if it doesn't penetrate well, you don't really do much damage. But he's getting broadside on. And we just took a big hit, and then we nailed him. Yeah, that was a Citadel hit. There you go. So that's the thing. He turned broadside on, and we nailed his Citadel and took him out. So now we're on 3 kills. And we're capturing the epicenter. Oh, there's a torpedo. What's the torpedo doing there? Who fired that? There's not a destroyer. They've got no destroyers left, so unless it was from an aeroplane. Oh yeah, it's probably from the torpedo bombers. They've still got torpedo bombers around. Maybe, I don't know. It's a bit long ranged for a airdrop torpedo. Whatever. Anyway, so we're capturing the. Well, we were capturing. We're not anymore because the enemy battleships just entered it. Oh dear. Yeah, incoming. We start turning away to angle against the battleship fire. Here come the shells, and they miss completely, which is nice. Meanwhile, oh, they're both shooting at me. This isn't good. So we need to leg it. Luckily, their accuracy is atrocious. What's quite good, useful here actually is if you're trying to angle your ship and look through the sight at the same time, is if you use this little indicator down here, because this will tell you what angle your ship is at relative to where you're looking. Which is quite useful for telling you, without having to sort of zoom back out and look at your ship and then zoom back in. So again, we're back to high explosive. We're just trying to set fires. They're no longer shooting at me, which is good. Oh, we got a hit there. Defended the base. And we turn back around because they're out of range now. Enemy carrier's been spotted. Friendly carrier sending 2 torpedo squadrons and 2 dive bomber squadrons to try and take him out. Enemy carriers launched fighters. You can see from the minimap down here, look. Down here. Is he launching it? No, he's shooting at the battleship. Yeah, that's fine. And then we try and remember the kind of the movement distance, because what I'm trying to do is get shots on him as he goes behind the island, because one of the advantages, well, there we go. Yeah, set him on fire. Just checking around, see what's around there. Nothing much. Okay. One of the advantages of having this kind of slow shell velocity is it means you can arc shots over islands much more easily. That's about the only advantage, but it can be useful sometimes. Like if I shoot now, like that, look, I just hit him from over the island. He's now on fire. I think it looks like he's not got a repair kit, or he's not using it, because he's still losing health. So I'm just kind of guessing now. There we go. There we took out a hood with a Cleveland. That's kill number 4. And we're on 59,000 damage. Nice. Enemy carrier is still alive. So friendly carriers dive bombing tactics didn't work. And oh, that cruiser is almost dead. Can I take him? I'm the only one who can, I think, because the battleship can't get an angle on him because he's too far around the other side of the island. Ah, so close. Come on. There we go. Trying to account for the fact that switch to arm piercing. Trying to account for the fact that he's going end on. There, yeah, we have it. Kill number 5. Kraken unleashed. It's like the equivalent of a high caliber. I think it's the high caliber award or Top Gun award on World of Tanks, getting 5 kills. Except it's much harder in World of Warships to do that because teams are smaller and ships are much harder to kill. So I have a Kraken Unleashed award, which I think is my first one. I don't think I've ever had that one before. Maybe once before. In a tier 6 cruiser on a tier 7 game without torpedoes. And you guys, anyone who's watched my channel for any length of time will know I have something of a fetish for torpedoes. This ship doesn't have torpedoes, so that's something of an achievement for me. I was going to try and get my 6th kill, but unfortunately we captured the entire epicenter. And I think the game ended actually fairly soon after this, or the carrier plane stole my kill from me. I think that's what it was, because I got some hits on and took a bit more damage off him. Because we're on 62,000 now. I was hoping to get my 6th kill, but it wasn't to be. It wasn't to be. I mean, 5 is still almost half of the enemy team, because there's 12 aside, I think. If I can count correctly. Yes, I can. It's 12 aside. Yeah, there we go. He just got dive bombed, so he's dead. There we go. He's out of it. And that was that. So, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that game. If you did enjoy it, please leave a like. That really helps me out. And please subscribe if you want to see more videos. So, thank you everybody for watching this one, and I will see you later. Goodbye.